Hello and welcome to News Central Television with me, Blessings Musugu. The top stories at this hour. IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu's alleged treason case adjourned till further notice. 19 feared dead in renewed cold clash in Obele community in Rivers State. Mass to call for peace between warring parties holds in Kinshasa, DR Congo. We have the details in a moment. News Central now this hour begins with the court matters. The case involving the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has once again stalled at the Federal High Court in Abuja. A presiding judge, Justice Binta Nyako, adjourned the trial indefinitely on Monday, following Kanu's insistence that she cannot preside over his case after previously recusing herself. Now, Kanu was initially scheduled to appear for a hearing on Monday, February 10, 2025, as stated in a hearing notice addressed to his lead counsel, Aloy Ejimako. Now, he had earlier requested that his case be transferred to the Southeast if no other judge at the Federal High Court in Abuja was willing to handle it, aside Justice Nyako. Now, the Supreme Court has dismissed the appeal filed by Rivers State Governor Simeola Fubara challenging the leadership of the State House of Assembly under Martin Amewule. A five-man panel led by Justice Uwani Abba-Aji has ruled on the case, awarding a cost of 2 million naira against Fubara, payable to the Rivers State House of Assembly and Martin Amewule as first and second respondents, respectively. The court's decision follows the withdrawal of the suit by Fubara's counsel, Yusuf Ali. With this ruling, the leadership dispute within the Rivers State House of Assembly has been settled in favor of Amewule's faction. But still staying with courts, Governor Simeola Fubara of Rivers State has withdrawn his appeal against the appeal court judgment, declaring the 2024 budget of the state illegal and ordering him to present the budget to the House of Assembly led by retired Honorable Martins Amewule. Now, the appeal court had upheld the judgment of Justice J.K. Omotosho in suit, wherein the court ruled that Governor Fubara should represent the 2024 budget to the House of Assembly led by Martins Amewule. Now, by this withdrawal, Governor Fubara has accepted the lower and appellate court's judgment, declaring presentation of the Rivers State budget to 3 members of the State House of Assembly as illegal.
Well, with the kind permission of my learned senior chief, Olani Beku, who led us, SAN, who led us in this matter, for the first and second respondents, that is the Rivers State House of Assembly and Right Honorable Martin Amewule. The appeal by the governor of Rivers State was dismissed by the Supreme Court this morning following the notice of withdrawal by the governor of the appeal he filed. Consequently, the decisions of the Court of Appeal and that of the Federal High Court, presided over by Honorable Justice Omotosho J., affirming that the Rivers State House of Assembly, led by Honorable Martin Amewule, and the other 26 members of the House of Assembly are the authentic members of that House of Assembly and remain so, and that Martin Amewule is the leader, that is the Speaker of the House of Assembly. So that is the position today. And I must add that the Court of Appeal had admonished and clearly stated that the House, purportedly being led by a 3-man panel, is not the House, Rivers State House of Assembly. Thank you very much.
All right, still on the court matter, we have Joshua Murray, who is on ground right there to give us more detail on what's going on. Joshua, good afternoon. If you can hear me, can you brief us on the update? All right, we'll come back to Joshua to give us more information. But in the meantime, we move to security matters in Rivers State, where at least 19 people were feared killed in a renewed court clash in Obele community. We'll go back to this story, but in the meantime, let's circle back to Josh. Joshua Marai, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, Joshua, can you give us an update on what's happening right now? What's the current development?
This morning was after the legal... Well, after the legal representative represented the governor, that's the person of Similai Fubara, and the other 27 exchange lawmakers, as well as the Independent National Electoral Commission, announced the appearances. The council representing the governor actually notified the court that they were withdrawing the case against the 27 lawmakers that Fubara is arguing they are illegitimate, considering the alleged fact that they have decamped from the PDP to the APC. This was actually welcomed by the court, who accepted the movement, the notion to move who accepted the motion to withdraw the case. But on the part of the defender, the other appellants, those who are being represented by their counsel this morning, they said that the case has gone too far for just a very, very immediate withdrawal from the court by the legal representative. The court, however, heard the argument from the legal representative of the governor as well as the 7 lawmakers. But based on the judgment they made this morning, the court affirmed the judgment by the other trial court, that is the High Court, as well as the Appellate Court, affirming the fact that the other people that the governor of Rivers State presented the budget to are illegitimate, and that the only legitimate party in this case are the 27 makers that are being led by Martins Amewele.
All right, thank you so much, Joshua Marai. That's Joshua giving us information on the Rivers State court judgment on the budget matter. But as earlier mentioned, we're going to security, where Rivers State, at least 19 people in the same state were feared killed in a renewed court clash in Obele community in Moha local government area of Rivers State on Sunday. Now, the violence erupted between the Daybam and Icelanders cult groups, sending residents fleeing for safety. This follows a deadly attack last Wednesday where 7 people were killed by suspected cultists. It was gathered that Sunday's clash began as retaliation, with both groups engaging in a fierce battle for supremacy. Police spokesperson Grace Iringe Koko confirmed this incident, linking it to a dispute over levies from an oil company. She also stated that 10 people were confirmed dead and an investigation is currently ongoing. Residents are now calling for urgent government intervention. Let's still stay in Rivers State, where demonstrations broke out on Sunday in Omagwa community in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State. Now, these demonstrations followed the death of one Chukuma Egbule, a native of the community who was allegedly shot and killed by a policeman attached to the Omagwa division of the Rivers State Police Command. Now, the protesters initially carried the body of the slain youth to the Omagwa Divisional Police Station, where they intended to deposit it. They were, however, resisted and repelled by the policemen on the ground there. They then decided to block the road in protest, causing heavy gridlock on the busy highway which leads to the airport and to Owerri, Imo State. Now, when contacted, the spokesperson for the command, Superintendent Grace Iringe Koko, said the command is aware of the situation. She also said the corpse of the slain youth has been deposited at the morgue, while the police officers involved have been detained pending an investigation into the incident. Earlier on, our correspondent Austin Azu visited the community and spoke to the wife of the deceased.
We are currently at the family house of Matthew Chukuman Egulem, the 35-year-old man and the father of 6 whose life was cut short yesterday by the police bullets. However, the mood at this family house seems to be very moody, and everyone seems to be at sorrowful state, and the cloud is quite heavy here at the compound here. I have the wife of late Maxwell Egulem, Mrs. Doris Egulem. Please tell us, how do you feel? What happened yesterday?
That fateful night, I was in the kitchen with my husband. He said he wanted to eat. So I was about to dish food for him when we heard policemen their sand. I went to the window and peeped. I said, policemen are around, what is it? He said, policemen. I said, yes. He went to the backyard door, which is at the kitchen, and used his body to hold the door. Me, I went to the window and said, sir, please, I was talking to the policeman. Sir, please, what happened? What is the problem? What happened? They said I should go to the room. I should go and bring key and open the door. I said, how will I open that? I don't know your faces. What happened? And I met my husband in the kitchen. I said, I called him. I said, policemen are here. They said I should open. They said I should not open the door. I should not open the door. They were pushing the door. The policemen were pushing the door, hitting the door with stone, with pillars, many things they use and be hitting the door. So when he was tired of holding the door, he put his hand in his pocket and gave me 5,000. Inside the 5,000, he collected 2,000 and gave me his phone that he's going to follow through the pigeonhole and go outside. So when he passed through the pigeonhole to go outside, one policeman, which I know his face, started shouting, fire, shoot him down, shoot him down, shoot him. I was begging, sir, please don't shoot. Sir, please don't shoot. Sir, please don't shoot. We'll settle this matter. As soon as the man said shoot it, the other man shoot the gun. That was when they came to the front protector and said I should open the door.
Now, the Nigeria Police Force has dismissed rumors that the disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, is back in operation. Social media reported claimed that the controversial unit, dissolved on October 11, 2020, after the NSAS protest, had been reinstated. However, police spokesperson ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, in a statement on Monday, reaffirmed that SARS remains disbanded. He urged Nigerians to verify information before spreading falsehood. According to the ACP, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, is not back in operation. Let's go now to education matters, where the federal government will meet with the Nigeria Union of Teachers and the All Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, on Wednesday to discuss extending basic education to 12 years. Now, this proposal by the Education Minister, Tunji Alausa, aims to merge junior and senior secondary education into a continuous program. And while some stakeholders support it, others call for further deliberations. ANCOPS President Musa Ibrahim clarified that the proposal is not yet law, while NUT President Aldo Amber stressed the need for analysis before commenting. Meanwhile, PTA Chairman Haruna Danjuma welcomed the idea, saying it would reduce dropouts and improve vocational skills. The meeting in Abuja is expected to shape the future of Nigeria's education system. Earlier on, an educationist, Jolawo Olufumilayo, spoke to us on this development.
Before this kind of declaration, they could have, have a stakeholder meeting, long deliberations, not after saying it, then by not having a meeting after it has been put out there. Now, what's the whole essence of extending your basic education? Prior to this, what we still run now, we have basic education up to JS3. Then, at that point, the student is supposed to decide if he wants to go on to vocational studies or continue with the educational studies. But Nigeria is quite a unique society, a unique system, in that there's this very strong disparity between the academia, going to university and all that, and doing vocations. In countries like the US that have the 12 years basic education, the vocational occupation has been professionalized. There are a lot of degrees, a lot of certificates, even in the vocational studies, that you can be a plumber, you can be an electrician, and you can still live a very good life. Do you understand? So, but here we have that's not even there. Even in the ministries, I don't know if a graduate and let's say an OND holder, for example, will have the same level when they are employed. So what is the main essence? That's the question here. Why? What are you trying to achieve? Because if you extend it to 12 years, then definitely we are going to differentiate a lot of people. If what is on ground? What's the end game? Why are we doing this at this time? I think.
You're still live with us on the news. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, Nigerian troops hoist flag in former bandits enclave after neutralizing 44 terrorists. This and many more stories after the break. Stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. We're still on the judicial matters with the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu and the court's presiding going on. We have our correspondent Sagir Ibrahim, who is currently there and will be giving us updates on the development. Sagir Ibrahim, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. Could you tell us about the proceedings so far?
Good afternoon, Blessings. Pleasure being on the news. So the matter remains pretty much the same. So the case was supposed to continue this morning. A hearing notice was sent to the counsel of Nnamdi Kanu, Aloy Ejimako, inviting them to the court this morning, the 10th of February, for the continuation of the case. However, the same matters has prevented the case from moving forward. A furious Nnamdi Kanu could be seen, shown, venting his frustration as to the reason why Justice Binta Nyako, who had initially recused herself from the case, has been given the power to proceed with, presiding over the case. He remains insistent that until she recuses herself and the subsisting issue, which has to do with her recusing as another presiding judge to take over the case, he remains uncomfortable with the case to proceed. All efforts to, allow for the case to proceed proved abortive, as Nnamdi Kanu remained adamant, and he also remained furious at the fact that the judge who had previously recused herself from the matter continues to preside over the matter. Now, these were the reasons, basically, why, unfortunately, Justice Binta Nyako had adjourned the case indefinitely. Hopefully, the issue about the subsisting issue about recusal would be addressed, and then way forward would be seen till then. But until then, not much can be said about when the court would be sitting for the continuation of the case, as it were.
Right. Also, is Nnamdi Kanu present in court as we speak, and what is his disposition to all of this?
Come again?
Is Nnamdi Kanu present in court as we speak, and what is his disposition?
Well, as a matter of fact, Nnamdi Kanu was present in court earlier. He was visibly furious. He continued to insist that he remained uncomfortable with the process continuing. In fact, we heard at a point in time where he was lamenting why, when it comes to his case, these same issues continue to come to the fore. So he seems to be unpleasant about the whole development. And what I saw was frustration because the case has continued to stall due to this issue of the judge recusing herself, and she is, remaining on the case in spite of the fact that she had earlier recused herself. Now, you would recall that initially the case was passed on to Justice John Soho, who for some reason also passed the case back to her. But because she had initially recused herself, Nnamdi Kanu is saying that the procedure would not continue until another judge is assigned to his matter.
Usually, I know that most times when it comes to cases surrounding the IPOB leader, the followers or members, there's usually uproar from their end. Have we heard anything from the followers, asking for them to answer on time, or anything from them?
Well, that would usually be the case, but then, Blessings, you recall that the matter has been stalling, has been on since far back as 2015 or even maybe 2017 or thereabout. But then, the presence of security operatives here, especially men of the DSS, would to a large extent even prevent any form of protest, if there would even be any, from going on around the court premises at least. We also know that the case currently had, in one way or the other, bettered the sit-at-home order that we've been seeing going on in the Southeast for the longest time, of course. But talking about protesting at the court venue presently, that has largely not been the case, as we have not seen any member of the IPOB here present around the court or within the premises trying to either demonstrate or protest his continuous detention.
Right. Thank you so much, Sagir Ibrahim, for the update. And definitely we'll be looking to see how this issue pans out once again. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Now, going back to security stories, Nigerian troops say they have reclaimed former bandit strongholds in Zamfara State, hoisting the national flag in a major counter-insurgency victory. During a series of coordinated offensives, troops of Operation Hadarin Daji claim to have neutralized 44 terrorists, dismantling camps and recovering weapons. Now, military sources say the troops engaged in fierce battles, successfully disrupting criminal activities. The hoisting of the Nigerian flag symbolizes a renewed push to restore peace and security in the northwest. Authorities say clearance operations will continue to prevent bandits from regrouping. The Nigerian army also said it remains committed to eliminating threats and ensuring lasting stability in the region. Moving away from that now, the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has called for the death penalty for individuals dealing in fake drugs, especially when their actions lead to death. Now, speaking at an event, Adeyeye described drug peddlers as merchants of death and stressed that harsher punishments were needed to curb the menace. Now, she criticized lenient penalties, citing cases where offenders importing harmful drugs like high-dose tramadol receive only minor fines or short jail terms. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the Attorney General to propose tougher sanctions, including the death penalty for counterfeit drug producers. Lawmakers also called for increased funding and resources for NAFDAC and other regulatory agencies to improve enforcement. Now, Nigeria's federal government has assured of the completion of the Abuja-Kano dual carriageway road corridor totaling about 375 kilometers in the next 14 months. This was as the Minister of Works, David Umahi, paid a visit to several sections of the road which are currently being renovated. Amadine Uyi compiled this report.
The 375-kilometer road stretches from Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, to Kano. With the road recently awarded by the Federal Executive Council, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, visited the road for an on-the-spot assessment.
We are in Section 1, and you are aware that Section 1 and 3, Section 1 starting from FCT, and then stretch over the Niger State towards Kaduna, 38 kilometers by 2, and Section 3 in Kano, stretching to the Aminu Kano International Airport, as directed by Mr. President. And so, the Federal Executive Council on Monday, this week, graciously awarded the construction of these two sections to InfoWest Nigeria Limited, and they have commenced work.
He says that the visit was to meet with the contractors to finalize the ministry's obligations to enable the work go on smoothly.
We are not here essentially to check the volume of work done, but we are here on a side meeting to agree on the level of mobilization. I would agree that in the entire 38 stretch, using one carriageway, this carriageway that is, Kaduna bound, they will concentrate on that, and they will ensure that by the end of February, the entire earthwork is being completed on this carriageway. And by March 1st, we will come back to flag off the concrete pavement.
The minister further adds that the inspection has given the ministerial team an assessment of the challenges on the road and steps needed to solve them.
We've noticed a number of amendments we are going to do on the road to make it most durable. We noticed that we have a lot of depression beyond the field shoulders. And so the PAM Secretary has been directed on what to do, to get separate consultant, and they have a team of the contractor, the consultant and Ministry of Works to run through the entire stretch of the 38 kilometer, and they give us what is best to solve this problem of differential between the field shoulder, outer shoulder, and the adjoining premises. We are very confident that this job will be completed in 14 months, starting from the 1st of February.
He adds that solar lights will be installed along the road corridor with closed-circuit television cameras to ensure adequate surveillance of the road. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadine Uyi.
Now, a memorial interdenominational Thanksgiving service was held on Sunday for the late Herbert Chizoba and Chizi Wigwe at their hometown in Isiokpo, Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, South Nigeria. Late Herbert Wigwe, the managing director, CEO of Access Bank Group, tragically lost his life alongside his wife and son in a helicopter accident in the United States of America on Friday, February 9, 2024. News Central's correspondent Austin Azu covered the memorial service and now reports.
Herbert Wigwe's legacy continues to be restored, with many remembering him as a courageous leader, a great builder, and a man of deep affection and friendship. Family members, friends, and well-wishers of the late business mogul assembled at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Lion of Judah Parish, Isiokpo, Ikwere local government area of Rivers State, for a year memorial Thanksgiving service. Dr. Joyce Wigwe, on behalf of the family, spoke on the significance of the Thanksgiving.
I was here a year ago speaking, and it's so reassuring to see that you are still here with us. Thank you for your support.
The governor of Rivers State, represented by his deputy, encouraged the Wigwe family to continue to trust in God, as the state will continue to support the family.
And therefore, what he has asked me to say is that all of us, collectively and individually, will help to make their dreams, the dreams they had, a reality or realities.
Attention, however, shifted to the Wigwe University Auditorium, where tributes were paid to his remarkable life and legacy before leaving for the graveyard to lay the wreath. Family members and friends, including well-wishers, shared their thoughts on the late Herbert Wigwe.
How I feel, I really feel that Herbert's blood still drips. It's unbelievable. It's not something I ever dreamt. It's not something I ever thought I would ever experience.
You know, we have learned a lot, you know, so from the legacy that Herbert left, and that continues. And I think what the family are trying to do and making sure that they do is to continue the legacy and the memory of a thought leader, an inspirational leader, a great man in every sense.
It's not been an easy part. It's unfortunate people can't share your morning with you. Everybody comes months differently. People react to the same thing in different ways. But we stand as a family. We have a love for him, regardless of what anybody says. What people say, we know who he is. We share a bond that not even dare to put us apart. We have a duty. We have a duty to protect Herbert and everything that has to do with Herbert, even after death.
As the legacy of the late Herbert Wigwe continues to inspire and motivate others, his memory will surely remain cherished, enduring in the hearts of many. In Rivers State for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
Now, coming up on the news, United Nations accuses Sudan's paramilitary of blocking aid to Darfur. This and more after the short break. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the United Nations on Monday accused Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces of blocking aid to the war-torn country's famine-threatened Darfur region. The RSF, which has been at war with the regular army since April 2023, controls nearly all of Darfur, a western region the size of France. Since May, it has besieged North Darfur's El Fasher and attacked displacement camps nearby. A famine has been declared in 3 areas of North Darfur and is expected to spread to 5 more by May, according to the UN-backed Integrated Food Security Phase classification. And nearly 7 million people in Darfur are facing crisis levels of hunger, IPC figures show. Now, a mass was held in Kinshasa to call for peace in the east of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. In his sermon, the leader of the church, Cardinal Fridolin Besungu, said, "Dialogue is the sacred key word that can help the country get out of its current situation." Now, other people say it is important to cease fire so that peace reigns in the eastern part of the republic.
Dialogue, c'est le mot sacré, c'est le maître mot qui peut nous aider à sortir de notre situation actuelle. Nous trouverons des solutions à nos crises qui durent depuis des décennies en dialoguant, même avec ceux-là que nous considérons comme des ennemis.
Appeler toutes les parties à négocier et à cesser les feux, pour moi, est une décision un peu salvatrice parce que nous constatons déjà que la République démocratique du Congo a perdu près de 3000 personnes. Donc les personnes sont mortes et ça cause en tout cas beaucoup de pertes et beaucoup de soucis.
Now, the former EFF spokesperson and member of the parliament, Dr. Seni Nlozo, has officially resigned from the party. Nlozi confirmed his exit on Monday, revealing that he had already submitted his resignation letter. His departure follows months of speculation after his suspension as resignation from Parliament in January. Nlozi now joins other high-profile exits, including former chairman Dali Mpofu and Deputy President Floyd Shivambu. Now, he says his decision came after deep reflection, adding that he has made his contribution to the party and is now stepping away from politics. The EFF is yet to release an official statement on his resignation. And now, to discuss this, we're joined by a political analyst, Professor Tikelelo Breakfast. He joins us from Kebeha, Western Cape. Thank you so much, Prof, for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, we all agree that we saw this coming, right? Your thoughts on what the resignation of Seni Nlozi means. He's a high-ranking member of the Economic Freedom Fighters, and this signifies for the party's future and its ability to maintain its current level of influence in South African politics. So, once again, what are your thoughts on what this means?
Well, just like you, I'm not taken aback by the turn of events. I saw it coming. I think the writing was on the wall that he was going to walk out of the EFF. In the build-up to this announcement, I think the situation was made unbearable for him to stick around because the leader of the party has been casting aspersions on his integrity, that he cannot be trusted. I think what broke the camel's back was the fact that Nlozi has been well aware of the decision that Floyd made to leave the party before he announced it in public. And I think that did not sit well with Julius Malema. And the fact that when Floyd left the party, Nlozi did not defend the party when it was under attack. So I think those are some of the things that have made Malema and other people in the EFF to cast aspersions on his personality. But I think it's a blow, though, because I mean the guy, he has a highest qualification. He's got a doctoral degree, and he has contributed positively to the party. And he is popular amongst the rank and file. There seems to be a thin line, in my opinion, between discipline and purging. I think Nlozi was purged for holding different political views as opposed to the views that are held by the leadership. And I think the party is really having a challenge of keeping some of its members because he does have supporters. And the question is, those who support him, are they going to stick around after he has left, or are they going to live with him?
Right. And what would you say are the potential consequences for Julius Malema's leadership style and decision-making processes that are within the party, given the loss of key members?
Most of the decisions of the EFF, they revolve around the personality of Julius Malema. He makes decisions on top and bring them down to the bottom without getting a mandate from the rank and file. His personality is overbearing on the party, and those who dare to question him are elbowed by him and by his henchmen. So, I mean, that is making the party to limp, and not grow in terms of attracting more members. And we saw the party of late not doing very well electorally. It dropped by, I think, 1% or 2%. And it has had a slippery slope because the party was in number 3, if I'm not mistaken, but now it has been overtaken by MK. That is also due to the personality of Julius Malema.
Okay, also, before I let you go, how would you say that the EFF's reliance on Malema's charismatic leadership and his personal brand contributes to its vulnerability to resignations and internal conflict? And what steps can the party take to develop a more robust and sustainable organizational structure?
Well, first of all, Malema does have strong points. He is charismatic. He was politically baptized at the tender age. He understands the do's and don'ts, the ins and outs of politics. So he is a good leader, but also he does have weaknesses which are contributing negatively to the party. So to salvage the party, I think the party needs to deepen democracy, whereby decisions are made in consultation with the branches. There is a saying that says that the strength of any political party lies with the branches. So the party needs to move away from the abuse of the concept of democratic centralism. Democratic centralism does not mean that the leadership must substitute the views of the majority in the party. Democratic centralism is democracy and centralism, not unilateralism, whereby you take a decision as the leadership on top and bring it down to the bottom. When people question it, you threaten them or you get rid of them in the name of discipline. That is just being undemocratic.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Breakfast, for joining us. It was really a comprehensive, some comprehensive points that you made. We'll see how that turns out. Thank you. Still to come, Trump to announce new trade tariffs on Monday. We have the details after the break. Join us again. Now to stories outside the African continent. President Donald Trump has said he will announce a 25% import tax on all steel and aluminium entering the U.S., a move that will have the biggest impact in Canada. Speaking aboard Air Force One, Trump said on Monday he will announce tariffs on everybody for steel and aluminium. Trump also said that there will be an announcement later in the week about reciprocal tariffs on all countries that tax imports from the U.S., but he did not specify which nations would be targeted or if there will be any exemptions. Now, Canada and Mexico are two of the U.S. biggest steel trading partners, and Canada is the biggest supplier of aluminium metal into the U.S.
Steel tariffs on Monday.
Tomorrow?
Monday, yeah, tomorrow.
What countries will those go on?
Everybody. Steel.
Including Canada and Mexico?
Yeah. Any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
What about aluminum, sir?
Aluminum, too.
10%?
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described a proposal from President Donald Trump for U.S. control of Gaza and the displacement of its population as revolutionary. Trump sparked global outrage by suggesting on Tuesday during a week-long visit by the Israeli premier to the United States that Washington should take control of the Gaza Strip and clear out its inhabitants. Now, on his return to Israel, Netanyahu said the two allies agreed on war aims to set out by Israel at the start of its 15-month war against Hamas, including ensuring Gaza no longer poses a threat to Israel. Now, despite criticisms from international allies and Arab states in particular, Trump on Thursday doubled down on the plan, saying the Gaza Strip would be turned over to the United States by Israel at the conclusion of fighting.
במלחמה השגנו הישגים אדירים, אבל אני חוזר עכשיו מביקור היסטורי בוושינגטון, עם הנשיא טראמפ, עם בכירי הממשל שלו, עם ראשי הסנאט והקונגרס. והביקור הזה, והשיחות שקיימנו עם נשיא ארצות הברית, טומנים בחובם הישגים אדירים נוספים שיכולים להבטיח את ביטחון ישראל לדורות. הנשיא טראמפ גם הציג חזון אחר ליום שאחרי. במשך שנה שלמה אומרים לנו, יום שאחרי צריך את אש"ף שם, צריך את הרש"פ. הנשיא טראמפ בא עם חזון אחר לגמרי. הרבה יותר טוב למדינת ישראל. מהפכני, יצירתי, אנחנו דנים בזה. והוא מאוד נחוש לבצע אותו. אני חושב שזה פותח...
Still on stories outside the continent, Beijing has sharply criticized a joint statement from the United States and Japan condemning China's actions in the South China Sea. Now, a statement which described China's activities in the contested waters as provocative was labeled by China as an attack and an attempt to smear its reputation. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Guo Jiaokun stated that the content related to China in the statement interfered in its internal affairs, inflating regional tensions. Beijing has lodged formal protests with both Washington and Tokyo over their remarks. Now, the dispute over the South China Sea involves competing territorial claims from several nations, with China asserting control over most of the areas, despite objections from other regional stakeholders and international criticism.
美日联合声明涉华的相关内容，公然干涉中国内政，攻击抹黑中国，渲染地区紧张局势，中方对此表示强烈不满和坚决反对。中方已向美方和日方提出了严正。
Now, the inaugural Southwest Games will bring together athletes from 6 Southwest states in Nigeria, competing across 7 different sports in Lagos. From March 25 to 29th, teams from Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo, and Ekiti will face off in football, basketball, table tennis, boxing, athletics, volleyball, and archery. Now, each state will sport distinctive team colors from Lagos red to Ekiti's blue uniforms. 3 major venues will host the action: Yabatek Sports Complex, Teslim Balogun Stadium, and Rowe Park Sports Complex. Event organizer Fumilayo Adedipe promises an unforgettable competition that will serve as a launching pad for discovering and developing Nigeria's next generation of sporting stars. We're still talking sports. Tottenham Hotspur manager Ange Postecoglou has come out swinging after his team's 2-1 FA Cup defeat to Aston Villa. The Australian coach made it clear for people to criticise him but leave his players out of it. Facing an injury crisis with 11 senior players sidelined, Postecoglou was forced to field 4 teenagers and an inexperienced goalkeeper in Sunday's match. Now, despite the loss, he strongly defended his squad's performances during this challenging period. The defeat ends Spurs' hopes in both domestic cups this season, having already been eliminated from the League Cup by Liverpool. They currently sit 14th in the Premier League, with the European League now their only remaining shot at silverware. Well, that's all on the news at this hour, but before we go, let's take another look at some of our major stories. We told you IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu's alleged treason case adjourned till further notice. We also mentioned 19 people are feared dead in renewed court clash in Obele community in Rivers State. And finally, we told you that a mass to call for peace between warring parties has been held in Kinshasa, DR Congo. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, StarTimes, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Blessings Masugu.